Film Club.
We should do that. Welcome back to what was once conveniently critical.
Welcome back to what was once conveniently critical and is now one more round.
One more round.
So
with the idea
brief
is,
explanation.
yeah, so how it came about the concept. So we would sit together, steak club, spoons, have a few pints, maybe some tea, and we would talk about film. Sometimes games, sometimes music, but mainly film. Like, what's this? Watch this. What do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. And then Andy said to me one day, I'm thinking of making a YouTube channel. Would you like to, funny enough, I was telling my mate about this today, would you like to like kind of co-host? And I thought, well, why not? And here we are. And then we thought about names, again, in spoons. And I think it was Chicken Club, not Steak Club.
It was Chicken Club that night.
And,
Sorry, Steak Club, we
no,
apologise.
it wasn't. I tell you what, we had burgers. We were thinking of a name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
we
it
were
was still Steak Club.
going to loads of things and loads of different names, but they're all like kind of taken YouTube, websites taken, copyrighted and stuff like that. We came down to conveniently critical. But
Yeah,
obviously,
and we liked it for a while.
for his length and name, it was your Natalie that told us like it's a bit too long.
Yeah, my fiance picked us up and said, no,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to call it conveniently critical.
And one of the names we went before, what he thought was one more round, because the idea is we always do you fancy having another round sort of thing at the pub. And
So now we're inviting you guys along for one more round.
or one more round. How cool is that?
So if you are new to Film Club as well, every single week we invite you guys along to watch a film with us. This week, what are you cackling at?
I don't know. I was going to do an impression of that, and I was laughing at my own impression.
Before you did it.
Well, yeah, it was that funny, yeah. So we invite you along too.
If you are new to Film Club, get used to this because we do tangents every now and again.
You're a tangent.
We are. I'm a tangent. Thanks.
Also, we've improved our audio out thanks to this guy getting another mic. So we only have 2 lapel mics, whereas the other one in previous videos had a Rode microphone go up there, captured room sound, and I was like watching the video in disgust. I was like, ah.
Yeah. So whenever our third wheels return, we'll have some decent audio this time.
Because we like our production values. You can tell from our fucking intro. How good's that fucking intro? Yeah, man. Film Club.
How good's his face?
I can't do it anymore. There's so many takes doing that.
Right. This week we have been watching, and hopefully you guys have been watching, Boyhood.
Put your tab on.
Thanks.
Boyhood. I came out in 2014. I can't pronounce the director, but he's known for his. He did Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, and all that.
Richard Linklater.
Yes.
But yeah, the Before trilogy, which I haven't seen.
I haven't seen. I want to see.
I really want to see it.
Yeah, same. Because oh, by the way, just to prelude this whole conversation, if you haven't seen Boyhood, don't fucking ruin everything, because we're going to talk about it. This is one of the few films I would dare say, like, don't fucking read anything on. Watch it and just take it into yourself, then watch this. Like, I want you to get more views on YouTube and subscribe and that, all this shit. I don't really, well, I'm not asked. But I'd rather you just command or control for the Windows users and quit, and then just fucking watch Boyhood.
Film Club rules apply. This is spoilers galore.
I know, but like Boyhood is one of those few films where I think it's like, obviously it's in other films, but just fucking watch it. It's
so.
Well, we're going to go into it.
What makes you say that?
Right. It's just. This is what when you were saying earlier. You mentioned about how have you got a lot of things to say in Boyhood Knowledge. I think one of my favourite things about it is I don't have much to say, but it's more like you could argue like the format, the medium it's presented. I don't really see it as a film. I see it as an experience, and it's fucking amazing. Like, holy shit! You are literally. It's like a very, very condensed, and yet it's long. It's 3 hours, I believe, or just under. But it's a very condensed version of like from 6 to 18, isn't it? Because it's supposed to be originally called 12 Years, but then 12 Years a Slave came out. Direct from Wikipedia, this, mate.
Actually, I didn't know that it was going to be called 12 Years.
Yeah, 12 years. It was 12 years of the actor's life. Did you also know, I read about it after as well, because I watched it and I was like, oh my God, it was so good. Anyway, the actual actors who grew up with it, like Ethan Hawke, I don't know any of those, my apologies to you if you're watching, because obviously there's always a director or actor watching our work.
Especially Quentin Tarantino.
yeah, fuck you. No, but they actually had some involvement, like the main guy, the star of the film. What's his character called again? I'm sorry.
But the kid,
Yeah.
oh, he's called Mason.
Mason, yeah, you're right. So Mason, the actor who did it, actually incorporated into the script because he wrote it every year, you know. He wrote it every year. So he filmed the first year, then a year later he reviewed that footage, then wrote it, and adapted that particular year's script for this like upcoming shooting, depending on what's changed with the actual actor themselves.
Yeah.
So it was always like a constant changing thing. It was more of a project than a film. This is what I was reading. It's fucking interesting.
It kind of makes sense because I mean, if Mason or the kid playing Mason had grown up to be like big buff jock sort of guy, he couldn't have taken him down that artsy route.
Yeah.
He had to kind of develop it on the fly.
You know something else as well? Directly for Wikipedia or something it might have been.
Exclusive information.
Is it what's his name? Richard Linklater or John?
Linklater.
Linklater.
Or Linklater.
Linklater. Basically, Linklater said to Ethan Hawke, "If I die, you
Who
need to
plays
continue to do this."
the dad?
Yeah,
Where's the dad?
Mustache Man. Ethan Hawke had to finish the film, which I thought was really cool. That so like that's yeah. This film right is commitment. It's commitment. How many is there's 4 of them? That like the mother, the father, the brother, the Mason, the main guy, and the sister who constantly go through the film. There's a few others that make appearances here and there.
It's people who come and go.
It's fucking amazing.
But they're the only 4 that are consistent.
I think there's a couple more like in the later years, like for the half to the end of the film. There's more that stay there. But going back to what you said, you know, what did I enjoy about the film? It was not like watching a film. It was like an experience, and a really good example is this. I fucking loved it. First of all, just going the sound of the film. It was brilliant. The soundtrack. I read quite a bit after actually. It was not many films make me straight away when I research and analyse and stuff like that. Like I'll probably watch it and be like, that was cool. Next day I'll think about it. But this straight away I had to read up on it. But they're on about like the use of the soundtrack and how it goes through the years, and it's literally the soundtrack going through the fucking years as it was recorded, which was amazing. I mean, it has. Does it have a Blink-182 Anthem Part 2 on it?
Yeah, it's got. I think it was Blink.
I'm sure it was Anthem Part 2.
There's something quite early on.
Yeah.
Which like is very pop punky.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it was Blink.
It goes on. There might even be a Stroke song on there anyway.
Like, doesn't it open with
Yellow, Coldplay.
Yes, Coldplay.
Which is a great tune. But yeah, basically the music, the periods of music was released. It goes how the film, the years in the filming, which it's so cool.
Well, can I say that made me really, really worried about the film
Really?
at the beginning.
Oh, right, okay.
Because when it starts and Coldplay comes on and some of that music is coming in, it was so.
They were those Coldplay haters.
It was so in your face. No, I'm actually all right. Like, I don't hate them. I don't really listen to them, but I'm not going to go, oh my God, it's Coldplay. In fact, at first I couldn't place what it was.
Sorry, Chris Martin.
But it made me worried about the film because it felt really cheesy. The music was so in your face.
But how did you feel at the end?
At the end, I was all right with it.
Well, this article in question I mentioned said it was a really good example of like the barrier between diegetic and non-diegetic sound, going back to what I said about in the Martian. Yeah. And it's because sometimes they do turn on the radio and it goes in the background, something that was great that the Martian had. But I don't know, I just felt like it was almost like, instead of having a title, because that's another really good thing about the film, when it went through the years and like, it didn't have like the Martian had Soul Whatever. I'm comparing it to because it's film club and stuff. Anyway, it didn't. It immediately changed, and you had the guy who was now older. And he didn't have any like kind of title, but what you did have was the music. So you could argue that the music played the title role.
Exactly, like it totally didn't talk down to you when it was doing it.
It was fucking amazing.
It was just like we've skipped time. You're going to figure that out. We trust that you're going to figure that out.
That's it though. Like it's quite rare nowadays that you get a film that like kind of gives you that kind of trust in it. But so I was going back to, obviously I went in a bit of a tangent there about sound, but going back to something, what I liked about it was I saw my childhood in it. Granted, we were a few years older, but I saw games like Halo and I was like, we fucking played it. Like, part of our friendship was playing Halo 2 at the end of my bed, me kicking your ass in Ascension. Fucking kicked your ass when you were the Banshee now, the rocket launcher and that. Mate,
Plasma to your Banshee's face.
Mate, I fucking needled the shit out of you. That sounds wrong. But when you got a needler, dual fucking needler, anyone who's played Halo 2 knows it was fucking OP. I fucking shot you to death, mate. Honestly. Are you good though? You good?
When you would go and grab the rocket launcher,
mate, I was
then
fucking
get in the
unreal.
Banshee,
I was
and
unreal.
fuck off in the Banshee.
I'll be on that thing.
The needler and the plasma grenades were the only things I had left to try and take you down.
Mate, that was one experience. There's one thing that you're holding to yourself. Right.
Okay,
So Halo, they had Halo. There was that was it. I remember it came out, the Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter, and they went to a book opening for that, and there was something else that happened I can't quite place on. But that was so good. I was just thinking, holy shit, you know, like, he was younger, but I was like, I remember when Halo came out. I remember when Ben got the Xbox and they were playing Halo. I remember the first level of Halo going through, and you had that, it was really scary. First game, you saw that leak through the glass. He ran away. And it was, you know, I have such fond memories of Halo. And seeing him, like, it was like almost like seeing because that's what another thing that's really good about the film, is that it somehow captures, like, everyone can relate to that. I think a lot of people can relate to that. It does capture growing up and becoming an adult. And I mean, fucking hell, it was only 12 years of his life. Yeah. And I feel like, wow, it's like, that's going back to what I mean about how it's an experience as opposed to a film.
Totally. I mean, I think that's the most important thing about this film, is that it's totally relatable.
Yeah.
And I think it's totally relatable, but it also makes you, because of that, it makes you connect with Mason.
Yeah.
Like, maybe more than any other film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because you are literally watching this kid
grow up
when he's, what was it, 6? Starts when
he's 6.
He's 6 years old, something. And you just watch him grow up, and you watch him slowly mature, and you kind of, by the end of it, you just want to see where he's going all the time.
Yeah, it's like...
It has to eventually end, and college, I guess, is the best place to end it. But you just kind of want to see what's next for him. You want to see what's next for him. You want to see what's next for him.
I feel like... I just spat everywhere, sorry. I feel like this film should have been titled just Life. That's why, growing up, Life, growing up or something.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I think the Boyhood is a good name. I think 12 Years would have been a good name as well, but it was amazing to see him. And like, it's really interesting when you said about that, like it engages you. Like The Martian's really good for like engaging you and feeling part of the experience, as I mentioned before. But I felt this is a different kind of way. Like, whereas The Martian, you're like, go on, Mark Watney, and I'm sorry I'm comparing Martian again. It's weird how similar they are, isn't it? Completely different films, and yet that engagement, I suppose the whole idea is engagement, immersion and stuff like that I mentioned before, and the diegetic sound and stuff is part of the experience. So Boyhood is part of the immersion.
There was those like 4 years he spent on Mars as well.
4 souls. No, it's not souls anyway. It's a day. It's Martian, yeah. Anyway, so you experience it, like, instead of going, go on, Mason, and stuff like that. I was just sat there, like, it was a long film, so I think I had to watch it in 2 parts, and I was sat there just like watching it, and I was just like, I want to see what he does. Like, I assume like maybe like I see someone I know, like maybe like a friend's daughter or something like that. I want to see how she progresses. Obviously, I want to have some involvement, but something you feel a bit far away. But it's almost like I suppose you could say, like, for students, for example, you want to see how they grow up and stuff like that. How they're going on, like, oh, you know, good on you, Mason, sort of thing. You like that almost, like. Yeah.
And I think honestly that's probably my favorite thing about this film, because what it does is, whereas like when you write a character in a film, you're always trying to figure out how to get across who they are. You're always trying to figure out like someone says this to your character. How would they react? If your character is in this situation, how would they react? What I absolutely love about this film, right? The first half of it, especially when he's a kid, maybe not the first half, but the first third, he almost doesn't say anything. There's chunks where he just doesn't say stuff.
He observes.
He observes, and that is exactly how people grow up.
Yeah,
so what we're watching is what's influencing him as a character.
But then he becomes more confident later on, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then you start to get him, like, the fact that like when he's later on, he's spouting philosophy to people. He's talking about like how he doesn't believe in like the American dream. He doesn't believe in like the preordained plans and stuff like this. It's because he spent his childhood sitting in his mother's philosophy classes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Everything, like, you watching this kid absorb all the stuff around him, which is what happens to people, and then that shapes who he is later down the line.
Engaging. Yeah. It's fucking brilliant. Honestly, it's really interesting. And what I liked as well, how I felt like really relaxed watching this film. Like some action films or horror, I'm just like, horror films, I'm like that. Action films are like, oh, like this, you know, go on, I'll like run, I'm getting adrenaline myself.
Sorry, like what?
Oh. But with this, I was like really relaxed watching it. And I was just like, I can't find the exact word to describe my experience watching this film, but it was brilliant. Like even the parts when, you know, like abusive parents or like angry parents and alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah. Which is weird. I was surprised he drank alcohol later on. I imagined that he'd be like that other kid who said, I don't want any alcohol, because of how he saw his stepdad. And obviously he had the other guy as well.
But I think he had his dad and the guy his dad lived with.
Yeah,
who were totally like entrenched in that sort of lifestyle, who he looked up to.
I don't think he looked up to the guy in the white hair, the stepdad, the first stepdad.
No. You know the guy his dad lived with, his actual dad.
Oh, him, yeah.
The guy who turns up
the
like
musician.
right at the end, yeah.
That was cool, that, by the way. I
Like
that.
they were obviously just living lifestyle of drugs, alcohol, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
slumming
yeah, 'cause
around.
you did see drugs, didn't you? Yeah.
So he was seeing it in both a positive and a negative.
Okay, yeah. But what was really cool is, anyways, when his stepdad and he's quite abusive. It's like that shit happens. I mean, it's quite it is extreme, you know, fucking throwing glass at you.
Yeah.
I've personally never experienced that kind of raging dad. Go on, dad, sort of thing.
Go on, Clive.
Yeah. But it's still very like you do hear about that quite often. So it's not like it includes drama.
Yeah.
But in a way that's very acceptable.
Yeah, and the fact that most of this film doesn't have a lot of drama in it.
Yeah.
There's all these little things that happen that don't lead to anything.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Okay, maybe we should retitle this Life, because that's what life is like. Where all these little things
you adapt,
happen,
don't you?
And yeah, it's all influencing him as a character to get him to where he is at the end. But like the story's so meandering.
It fucking is, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's okay. It's not a bad meandering. It's a really enjoyable meander.
But what's really interesting is I think part of that meander is actually the actor himself and the director as they progress as individuals as well.
I love that they don't fall into like those like stereotypical plot holes as well.
Yeah.
Where like
that was refreshing.
If you're telling a story about this kid growing up, what's the obvious thing you go for? Oh, first kiss, the first time he has sex. They don't. The first time you see him kissing, he's just like in the back of the car making out with a girl, and like you see him post.
That's really interesting.
Sex, but it's not the first time, or if it was, like it doesn't matter.
But he mentions about the first time, like you know when they're in the house trash now, or whatever the wood. Because, you know, have you had sex before and you imagine, like, that's a cliche thing, I haven't had sex, ooh, sort of thing.
I think he was telling the truth, though.
Well, I think regardless, from a directing point of view, and actually, from people making the film, it's really good how they excluded that. Said, yes, I've already had it, and they just left it there, didn't go into it.
Yeah.
He got maybe questioned once, sort of thing. You questioned him, so twice.
I did question him, I totally questioned him.
But I think that's regardless. Like, I think it's almost like, I hope he's aware of it, Last Latin, or whatever he's called. What's he called?
Oh, Richard Linklater.
Linklater, oh, sorry. I'm thinking of the guy from Pixar, aren't I? Last Letter. I think he's a producer anyway. Linklater, I hope he meant that anyway when he was just saying like, no, fuck you, we're not going to show you the first sex thing. He's not a virgin anymore. We're not going to tell you why. So I really hope it was like his own reference to that, you know. I think
because the thing with this is that all the dialogue feels really natural.
Massively.
All the situations feel really natural. And yeah, like first kiss, first time having sex, they're important, but they're not character defining. And this film is about what defines a character. It's about watching him.
Like you said, the philosophy class and stuff.
Yeah.
He seems quite a placid person, so I imagine that it's the opposite.
The fact that first stepfather is an alcoholic, he's abusive, and when he's a kid, doesn't know what to do, he just freaks out. It's his mum that thankfully comes and like saves him.
She was class, yeah.
And then when the second stepfather starts drinking and has a go at him,
he just kind of goes, fuck off.
He just walks away from him because now he's in more of a position of power, but also he's seen kind of dickheads like that before.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to kind of stoop to his level. He knows he's just floundering.
I really liked how, the subject of the second stepfather, I really like how it's introduced, how it's introduced how he's no longer in the life. And I think it's when he's sat down with his mum in that place or whatever, and she has a breakdown and goes, and she actually says it quite well, I've done this, I've done that, next is death, life's just gone so quick sort of thing.
God, yeah.
I thought she fucking killed that scene. She won many awards actually, if I recall.
She's amazing.
I need to find out her name.
If anything, watching her like grow and age and change is just as interesting as watching him.
Yeah.
Because she's at just a totally different stage in her life.
Even his sister, it was nice seeing her progress. Because at the start, she is Linklater's daughter in real life.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. Because I was thinking, do you reckon he had someone close to them that he grew up with?
When they're younger, there's definitely some dodgy acting going on.
Do you reckon?
But thankfully, when they get older, everyone's pretty good. Everyone's actually really good.
That's it though. It's not like, even like people like, I don't know, I feel like it's acting, but to a certain extent, it's acting, but it's just being yourself. Because, the wrote a good example of this is a film called Like Crazy, which I found, you need to fucking watch
We'll
that.
do it in Film Club.
Please do. We need to watch it before.
Let us know if you guys want to do like crazy in film club, because if we get enough people kind of
It's
asking for it,
so good.
I have to eventually watch the film. So
I think I've already told you this before, but like a lot of it's improvised, and a lot of it is the actress Felicity Jones and Anton Yelchin. Is that his name? That unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
Shit that, by the way. It's just them two talking just normally, and it was just films like, so some of the scenes are just them two out of character just talking, and that kind of organic kind of element to the, add shitloads to the film.
And if I remember right, this had a lot of improv in it, didn't it?
I didn't read that, but
I'm sure I'd read
I
something
imagine
where
it did.
said he'd had a lot of improv.
Well, imagine. Actually, no, I did read something about improvisation. It was the scene, Ethan Hawke was in an interview, and it was the scene when they were about Star Wars, and I was laughing. I was like, "Oh, yes, they're going to make another Star Wars," but they didn't know that at the time. Apparently, that was really improvised.
Oh God, yeah, no, what you mean when they're camping?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I love that.
That was fucking amazing. But apparently, that was improvised, you know.
It was so interesting watching that now, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, yeah. That was really cool. That. No, it was brilliant.
I think this film for me, it took me by surprise because like I
Massively.
wasn't expecting something this good to have come out of like. Can you imagine trying to shoot something for 12 years?
It's fucking commitment.
And if I remember right, it was like 35 days of shooting.
Yeah, because it did 3 days a year, isn't it? Yeah.
Spread across 12 years, 3 days a year of shooting the same film, getting the same at least 4 people back.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Amazing. Like, how cool is that? And then to have something like this at the end of it. I know he's done the Before trilogy before. The Before trilogy he'd done prior to this, which is like a similar kind of concept.
Did he do it prior? Maybe he'd done the first 2 prior. Oh, no, he did. He did the trilogy.
No,
before.
you are correct. He did the first one, then he started Boyhood, then he did the second one, the third one, and then Boyhood came out.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, right. What was amazing what you said about like, what's really I really hope that you've noticed this or you've read about this, but what's really fucking amazing is the consistency of the image. And the reason for that is he used film. He used 35mm film because he said that doesn't change over time.
I was
How
totally-
forward thinking is that, right?
The
Like,
one thing I was expecting to change in this film is the look of it.
Yeah.
It's just so consistent.
yeah, no,
from
yeah.
A
What
to
the
Z.
fuck? Like that's honestly, that's fucking planning.
I'm really good. I haven't actually got the cinematographer or the director of photography's name down here, because I need to find out who shot that. Because bravo to that person.
Bravo, a good word. It was amazing. It was like when I saw the picture of Boyhood, because I think it's him on the glass, and he's looking up on Netflix. Even though it got like, because I've got this lovely little app in Chrome that says what the IMDb rating is and what the Rotten Tomatoes is.
Nice.
It's amazing because it makes me stop like all these shit films. And I wish you could have like a dislike on Netflix, because I'm sick of seeing Adam fucking Sandler.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of seeing Steven Seagal. Fuck
You can
off.
always rate it like 1 star.
Yeah, but that, it might so, because I don't know. Anyway, sorry. When I skipped past it because I was thinking, I don't know. I didn't read about it, and I just saw the picture, and it must have been a time when I was like, oh, fancy an action or something like that. But I'm so, like you were saying there, like it struck me with surprise just how good it was. It's definitely up there with my top films, because I haven't watched a film and had like the same kind of reaction from it. Like it was its own kind of fucking reaction I got from this film. Probably for the nostalgia, like I said, growing up there, seeing Halo there, I was like, oh, boss that, like. I was going to say something really, you were saying it before. What I really like about this film is I was going to change it to, I was going to put it alongside another thing, is when I said it needs to be named Life, because you're going through it. The feeling I kind of get, I can't get my words out of my hands, like I'm trying to think too forward thinking, I do apologise.
Your mind's going,
It's like
Boyhood.
I'm trying to think one step ahead. When you watch this film, you have this sense of appreciation, you have this sense of understanding, and how it organically adapts. And you're just watching it, and you just like it. And I hope everyone else feels that way, because that's what I imagine. And what I was thinking was really cool is like, it is life. You can't explain life, how it happens, but you understand it. You understand this film, but you can't explain why this is done that. And I think another thing that's really similar, like my similar kind of experience watching this film, is just the concept of love. You know what it is when you feel it, but you can't explain it. And it's the same with life. You know life as it grows. Obviously, it's a longer period of time. You know life as it grows, but you can't explain it. You can't explain all these events that make you the person you are.
Yeah.
You could single it down to, like, for a good example, Inside Out, how they are those islands that are like key life events. You might be able to single parts out like that, but you can't explain life. And growing up, you just...
Yeah, I mean, we get
different character.
in 2 hours, 45 minutes, whatever it is, we get to watch this kid's
Exactly.
influences, so we understand what made him the character. But if you'd asked him 12 years on what made him the person he was, he wouldn't know.
Exactly. He won't be able to explain it.
We get this condensed look at it.
But in the same time, like how they fucking condensed that was amazing. But it's just amazing. It's this thing that you know that you experience, and yet you have no way of explaining it. It just happens. That was one of my real fucking joys of watching this film. It's just like, I think that's why I'm struggling a lot to say what I have to say about this film, because I can't explain it. It's really hard to analyse, because I think it's, like I said, the best way to describe this film is it's an experience. You watch it and you're just like...
Can you recommend this to everyone or just certain people?
I would possibly say this film is for everyone, definitely. It's funny you should say that. Like, that's hence why I said earlier, you know, if you haven't watched it, just stop this and watch it. Easily. Like, it's a different kind of format, a different kind of medium to normal film. And just on that alone, like, I don't think it's ever been done before, besides the Before trilogy.
I'd only worry about that meandering plot. Some people might not like that.
Well, fuck them. My dad will be one of those people. Fuck you.
Sorry, if you're one of those people.
No, he's not watching this, because I swear.
Andy says fuck you.
No, but it's that's life. It's like you know, these people that might say they're not like it because they need some action in the movie and stuff like that. Like, why have stuff scripted for you? Like, just like this film, why does it have to be scripted? Why can't it meander? Why, like, just how like our life meanders? I mean, fucking hell, yeah, if I thought where I was now 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, relevance, 12 years ago, I wouldn't think I'd be here in this position, you know, stuff like that. Like, I understand that things have changed me and all this. And I think it's the same when people watch this film. They will be like that. They will understand, I really hope, understand, not be able to explain how it changes, if you get me.
I completely agree. I think if you can get on board with meandering plot, watch it, because it's so... You're right, it does feel like it's got something in there which is relatable to everybody on some level.
Massively.
Regardless of what you went through in your life, I think there's something in here which is relatable.
Yeah.
Even if you just relate to the character and you watch him and you just enjoy that experience of watching a character be formed in front of your eyes.
Yeah, in a compact, but yeah.
It's amazing.
It doesn't feel too long or too short as well, because surprisingly it's 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty short for 3 hours. Like, it feels short for 3 hours.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Oh, by the way, just going on to add what Andy said, if you're a robot in your life, if you like your life scripted for you, fuck off.
Sorry, robots. So, do let us know what you thought of the film, and more importantly, next week, you and I are going to be watching
Raging
Bull. So hopefully you guys are going to be watching it as well. And if you get in touch with us before next week, let us know what you thought of the film.
Before we go, it passed that test, the Bechdel test, at the very start of the film, when the daughter and the mother are talking about moving. So go Bechdel test it, fast it. So yeah, next week, Raging Bull, please watch it. To be honest, I haven't seen it. Because a lot of these films I've seen, like I haven't seen Boyhood, but I saw Django, I've seen Martian, I saw Fargo. So it'd be quite interesting, and it's supposed to be...
it's our very first Martin Scorsese film.
Yeah, we're quite getting on this, like, we've got Coen Brothers, we've got Scorsese, so we're going to be like, was there only more films to do? I look forward to it.
It would be great if we did like an entire month of like Martin Scorsese.
That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I've been one of your hosts, Andy Harrison, and Zanny Donaldson.
I don't know.
Hopefully we'll see you guys next week to talk about Raging Bull.
We'll see you next week for one more round.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.